Alright, what is up guys? It's Del here, and today we got a recolor of the Kiyamori, which actually packs a few improvements over the original release. And just real quick before we start the review, some older viewers of this channel might know that I already reviewed the original version of this kit, but I did a poll a while ago to see if people would like to see color variations model kits, and it was an overwhelming majority of yes, we would. And I kind of feel like, I did that review a long time ago now, over a year. I feel like my skills have improved enough to kind of like make this kind of like my redemption video for this model kit. Shout out to everyone who's been around since then. And as always, I got this kit from Gundammit.com, my go-to place for third-party and independent release kits. And whenever you're over there checking them out, be sure to go in that top left-hand corner and type in supporter code DEL. Whenever you purchase stuff, it just gives me points. So it helps out the channel with no additional cost to you. Well, besides hurting your wallet's feelings by buying more plastic. But thank you, and the link will be in the description. Now let's get back to that review. Starting off as usual with the box itself, it's pretty big and features some artwork of the white Kiyamori all on the front and sides of the box. One side features a picture of the finished model and some action poses. Now let's pop it open, and inside we're going to find our runners. And the breakdown of those are going to be dark gray, white, painted red and gold, clear red, and some light gray. Then we have our action-based platform, a plastic pre-built inner frame, water slides, and our instructions. So getting into the build, let's start by looking at our instructions. The front cover features some awesome line art of the Kiyamori, and opening that booklet up, we're going to be greeted with our list of runners, and immediately the start of the build. This kit once again lists the runners you'll need per part during assembly. And at this point, I feel like every video I point this out and sound like a broken record, but I'm just happy that most companies are doing this now. And one last note, the instructions are just in black and white. Not really a problem, but just something worth pointing out. Now for the actual build of the main unit, it features a pre-built plastic inner frame, but this time being in a real nice looking wine red or burgundy color, and this seems to be one of the improvements over the original, as this frame feels so much better than the first release Kiyamori. It feels solid and overall just better quality now. One pro of having a pre-built inner frame is that it's going to cut down on the build time for sure, and if you want a more in-depth experience of the build, I streamed a good chunk of it here on the channel. I'll drop a link in the description. Now, most of this kit is undergated, so expect a good amount of cleanup, which leads me to one of my biggest complaints of this kit. So there are two painted duplicate runners, the original gold and a new red. While these are undergated, they leave nubs like crazy, and as these are white plastic underneath the paint, it becomes very apparent. The gold I can understand. I'll take a painted gold with nubs over injected gold any day. But the red, I'm gonna be like, so for real. I mean, it doesn't look like painted red. It's not a metallic red, and it's just more of like, it looks like red plastic sprayed with a matte clear coat. I can understand if they went with a metallic red, but I see no reason why we could have gotten just plain red plastic runners for these parts. Now, I know this is an easy fix of just painting over the marked area, but I feel like I should mention this. Other than that, all I had was a small issue with the hands, which I'll get into the accessories portion. Overall, I am really nitpicking with issues of building this kit. The overall experience was just fine and lacked many physical problems. Alright, we're going to quickly go over the aesthetics of the kit and compare it to the original. Firstly, you'll notice how much this white and red color scheme really pops out and catches the eye. With just the right amount of panel lines, it leads to a real clean look, and that inner frame contrasts nicely against it all. It really giving me some straight red frame vibes of that inner frame poking through, and I'm going to go ahead and clear this up because I get asked about it a lot for when it comes to panel lining. I use Gundam Flow Type markers or Tamiya Flow Type panel liner. I know that both these are really bad about cracking ABS plastic, but I use them anyway. But what I do is I use them prior to assembly, either after I cut them out or on the runner still. If you do that, because if you use those while they're built, there's a chance you can go behind and pull up, and that leads to cracking. But if you do it pre-assembly, you should be fine. Alright, moving right along to our size comparisons. The Kiyamori comes in a height of 9.06 inches, or 23 centimeters. Here it is against the Entry Grade RX-78-2, the Master Grade Gundam Mark II, Our last review, the Mosho Toys Excellent Class Masamune Date, the Tengu Judge, the Zhao Workshop Oracle, and the Nighthawk Spec 2, aka RG Nightingale, as this line continues to be very much larger than your average master grade. Alright guys, we're moving on to the accessories of the Kiyamori. We're going to start off with the hands. So, I see I already have the closed fist installed on the kit. We're going to get a pair of holding hands, some dynamic open hands, and some trigger finger hands. Hey, it's editing Dell here, getting our finishing shots here, and I forgot to mention about the hands. I broke a thumb, and this one broke while installing it. I only broke the one thumb, so I think maybe I just got a bad one. Just be careful when you're installing your thumbs. We have a ponytail part with just a swivel here, and we can take our Kiyamori and you pull down this little tab here on the back of the head. My finger getting there. There we go. And it just plugs in like so. I don't tend to like this one, as it really just kind of sticks out straight back. You can't like bend it down any, which is what I prefer for a ponytail, but it's nice to have it there. But I like the look of mine without it. Next we have his gun, which is kind of like a mecha version of like a flintlock or a musket, which means still uses a flintlock. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And with this, and really for the rest of the weapons with the kit, all you're gonna do is move the thumb out of the way of the hand, and in here you'll see a little peg, and we have little holes on the handles, and we're just gonna take that and we just push it in there like that. Bring that thumb around, and there he is. Now, I will point out that whenever you're going to replace the hands on this kit, hold it firm. Those like to pop off. Hold it firmly, because these are snug ball joints in here. We give it a go until you hear it pop. It's in there, and we're just gonna leave that off for now, because I mean it. Those things like to pop off, and then there you go. Up here we got a little mini scythe and a dagger. Same thing with those, just a hole there we slide into the fingers. But whenever these aren't in use, we can take these parts off, and if we come over here, you'll see these little holes here in the knee, and we just slide those down there for weapon storage. Well, have weapon storage. There's really no place to put the blades, but Here I have his backpack unit. This little part up here can move a little bit. And these arms here have a ton of movement in them. Either which way you want to put them, it will go. We got these little, like, ray gun things up here at the top. And down here, we can flip up these in little missile pods. And for this, so we got a little plate to cover up it when it's not in use. We'll just take that, pop it off, and we just slide that on in there like that. And he can't really stand with the backpack on, which is surprising because it's fairly small. There we go. Got it. We're good.
Just had to bounce him a little bit. So next we're going to have his main weapon. Well, I assume it's the main weapon. It's the biggest. So this is just the unit by itself. And now these don't necessarily have to go in there for this mode, but I have them in there just so I keep up with them. But we can get a little spearhead here, and we plug that in, and we can extend the blade a little bit like that. And here we have a spear mode. And I will say, whenever you go to attach this to the hand, I do recommend taking out that and just untab it from here and take this front part off so you can get the hand around there easier. But this will just pop back on like so. But this has a different thing we can do. So if we take the spearhead off and move one of these up here, and then we'll take this little small... No, don't roll off, please. There we go. Grab this longer one, plug that in, and plug that in. Then we have this big scythe effect part that we can slide into here, down, slide in here, down, boom. And if you want, you can take this, plug it in the back to keep up with it. There you got big scythe. And take that around. And for storing this, we bring it around back. And you got this little clip here. And that is just going to plug in to where we'd plug in the hand. If I can get it in, go in your home, please. I got it. There we go. We got that there for storage. And another thing you can do is if we grab our the gun from earlier, we can just plug that. Well, come on now. There we go. And it can be stored underneath there as well. If it would stop popping out on me because the hand's in the way. But yeah, you can store it there. Here we have his smaller katana and sheath. Pull that out. You can see the blade here is just a pure clear plastic blade. You can see there's some of those nub marks I was talking about earlier in the video on that red paint. We can take that, put that back up, and for storage, if we just come over here, see, these don't stay on, man. We could take this, and this will just clip on like so. And we have his large katana and this awesome sheath. Pull this out, and this time on the blade we have a two-tone, like white, and then a little bit of gray, and then the red energy blade. Got more of those nub marks here, and a little movable part right here. We can put that back in, and for storing that, we just plug this in to right there. If my hands would cooperate with me, it would just go in. There we go. And now he's a little overweighted. He's gonna want to fall over. That's okay. We're about to get the action base. Here we have the really cool action base. Same as the other one, but now we have red flames. And unfortunately, they did not change the action base whatsoever. I thought they maybe because they released the Tengu and that had a locking base. This one doesn't. It's just ratcheted, which feels fine right now, but I find over time, like the other one, it won't hold the kit up anymore in an aerial pose. So I really wish they'd come with a locking mechanism and not this plastic ratcheting system. And while we're talking about the base, real quick, we got these little demon heads, which, like the original kit, these were a pain in the butt to build and kind of sucked, but they do look good. We can move this little point right here. The jaw can open and close when you don't have the little effect part in there. And these will just plug into the holes here on the base, like so. Personally, not a fan of these, but hey, they're there, and they do look cool. So adds a little extra pizzazz. We're gonna take these off. And for attaching the kit to the base, there's a little slot here on the backpack that just plugs in like so. And we're just going to go ahead and lift it up a little bit, not that high. Let's not hit the camera. And there you go. It's fully loaded up on the action base. And just a couple extras. Here's that extra A runner you have of all the red painted parts in gold from the original kit. I went with all red because I think that just looks better. And we have our water slides. I didn't use too many of them, but the ones I did use on the kit felt fine. No tearing. So actually pretty decent water slide quality, way better than Bandai's, naturally. All right, now let's get into the articulation of the Kiyamori and see how many parts we can have flake off. So starting the head, you got a pretty decent range of articulation here. And go down pretty far, up not that far. Now here with the arms, you can move this little shoulder part independently. And so we can get the arm up like a decent ways, but these big shoulder pads are getting in the way of a lot of posing. And all you can really do is move these up and down like this and then rotate them out of the way, but the whole arm will have to rotate like that. Once again, that was a complaint I had with the original, which was like on like a better system so we can get it out of the way for posing. But we can take these, extend these. And get some vents up underneath there and stuff. Let's close that back up. We can pull out the arm a little bit to get a really good butterfly joint here, front and back. Really good on the back end. Put it back in. Like I said, we can rotate the arm here with that. But we also have a rotating forearm, and that's just gonna fall. Wow, it double fell off. Those pieces aren't that solid. But yeah, rotate there. We get a double jointed elbow. We're going to just pop that off. Just come on, just pop off. Thank you. On this side, this just has a hinge here. But they pop off all the time. We got a pretty good wrist joint here. You see you got a ball joint in there. We got a really good waist swivel. And a pretty decent ab crunch. And it has some side to side. And the mouth here on the chest can move. Front skirts can move up a lot out of the way. Little side skirts can move up here, up and down. along with these leg armor pieces right here. We can move those down and up. Down gets them out of the way. So these butt plate is little in two pieces. So you got this one can move right here and the one up here. Let's go ahead and get that leg up all the way out, and then we can bend the leg for some good armor separation gimmicks in the knee and up here on the thigh. Of course, we can rotate the leg. We can get it out really far because there's really nothing in the way. And if we move these, we can get it out a decent amount. Then move here at the foot. Get this little armor piece here that can't move. Don't you pop off. You move that around. And then these pieces right here move. And here on the foot, we have a bendable toe. All right, just bend the ankle. These are snug. Hold that there. You can bend the front of the foot. And then you can bend this like crazy pivot, bro. And then same thing with the back here. The ankle has its own pivot as well. And what fell off? Aha! That. So really, not that much part shedding. As I said in the beginning of the video, this one holds itself put together a lot better than the original. So they did improve like the overall like solidness of it. Not as bad. Inner frame feels a lot better. But overall, very good articulation. And we'll see what kind of poses it can pull off up here in a second.
Alright guys, here we are at the end of the review, and what do I think about the white version of the Kiyamori? I mean, overall, it's a slight improvement over the original kit, with a much better fitting inner frame, but in terms of recommending it, I mean, if you have the original, it's going to be kind of hard to make that, decision, unless you just really have to have the white and red color scheme, which I do think is the better color scheme. While it's more simple, it just really pops for me, which might be a personal opinion. But if you don't have the original and missed out on it, I mean, this comes with all the pre-order bonus, or pre-order first batch bonus. I don't know what you want to call it. This one comes with all of that, so you can get your hands on the fancy action base and the heads, which, I mean, I don't even know if the other versions of the original Red Kiyamori didn't come with them. First batch bonuses are always weird. Sometimes they just, like, keep producing them, even though it's called a first batch bonus. I don't really care much for first batch bonuses anyway. Just make all the stuff with the kit come with the kit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's going to be it for me, I think. If you like the color scheme, if you really just got to have it, pick it up. If this design doesn't really interest you or anything, just it is what it is. It's not like going to blow your pants off. It's just a cool looking samurai-esque mecha kit. But with all that said, guys, thanks for watching. Please remember to hit that like button, slap the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you get alerted when I make new videos. And until next time, guys, take care.